All right, Cleaning Nation. I am chatting with a really good friend as well as a one-on-one client of mine, Jolene Vossen. Gosh, we've been working together for quite a while, and she's in my accelerator. She's a one-on-one. All my one-on-ones are in the accelerator group, and every month I highlight one of my favorite people for the accelerator group. And I was just calling to interview her to create that article. And I was telling her about how she could use this kind of concept in her business. And one of the things I said is you can record it, you can use little pieces of it, there's all sorts of ways you can use this content that you're going to create when you do it with your customer. And I thought, man, I'm looking like a total hypocrite by not doing any of those things. So I decided to record it, and we'll see what shows up. Jolene, say hey, introduce yourself to Cleaning Nation.
Hey, Cleaning Nation, I'm Jolene Vossen.
And you've been on the podcast at least once, right?
Yeah, a while ago.
Okay, I will find out if we post this. I'll try and put somewhere in whatever corresponding words there are with it, what a link to her episode. So when you inevitably fall in love with Jolene, you can go get more and more and more. All right, so tell us a little bit about your business before we met. Maybe just kind of give us from a quick little 1-minute summary from when you started to when you started getting frustrated and decided, just kind of from when you started, from right before you and I started working together.
Okay. Well, before I started working with you, my husband he was working, he had decided that, I was going to run it, and he got another job, which was awesome, but I was super stressed. I had basically no system. Was running from here to there and everywhere, trying to put out fires. My cash flow was horrible. Really it was try and make it and survive every day. It wasn't fun. I hated it, to be honest, running every aspect. And I was still doing, and I still have some commercial accounts, but I'm still trying to really focus on growing both of them, which has since changed.
Wow. Well, first of all, thank you for sharing that. Second of all, I'm glad I recorded this, because one of the things I'm talking about on the podcast that I never have an example, and that was a perfect example, is your customers will give you your best headlines verbatim. So instead of me, and I've been doing this for years and talked to hundreds and hundreds of people, and I'm always trying to think of kind of headlines that'll catch people's attention and speak to them and let them know that I know their pain, I know where they're coming from, and I do a sloppy job of it. But I'm smart enough to know I can shut up and listen, and people like Jolene will give me great headlines. So this is just for the notes I took. I'm going to go back and listen to the recording. But Jolene, you just gave me like 3 good headlines. You said you're running back and forth. You started out stressed out. You're putting out fires. Cash flow is horrible, and you were working to survive every day. I'm going to go back and listen to the exact verbatim what you said, and those will probably be headlines exactly as you said them, with no changes, because you just did a great job of sharing kind of in a raw form how you felt. And the reason I bring all that up for Jolene and whoever's listening is do that, right? When you're talking to your customers, listen to their pain. And I wasn't even really asking Jolene's pain, but she did a great job of doing it. And if they say something that's a catchphrase or something like, oh, that's exactly what I've been trying to say, or what my customers are all trying to say, write it down, put it on your website, your marketing material. That was fantastic. Okay, so A, thank you that was a good job. Second, so you were just, cash flow sucked. You were working hard to survive. You were transitioning from you and your husband running this business to you running it all by yourself. I hear some notes of overwhelm in there. Is that all? Am I tracking on with you?
Total. Yeah.
Okay. So what was how did you find me? Was there a straw or Cleaning Nation, or however we got connected? Was there a straw that broke the back, or were you just like wandering the earth? Talk to me.
I'm fairly confident I never go on LinkedIn, but I think that you had sent me something on LinkedIn, and I was like, who's this dude? Why is he sending me something? And I clicked on it, and I believe it took me to your blog, and the moment I read it, something just totally connected with me. And I remember calling my husband in and being like, read this, this guy is super cool. And because it would seem so real. And then I started reading some of your blog posts, and I think I reached out to you on Facebook. I'm sure I probably looked you up on Facebook as well.
Perfect. And I don't remember. It seems from my limited perspective, it's like, oh yeah, Jolene's always been a friend. Like, I don't know how we just were born that way, but obviously that's not the reality. So thank you for sharing that. I do like nothing on LinkedIn. I'm sure I did at some point for some reason, but I'm like, man, what would make me reach out to some random chick? But the big thing is Content. You just got downgraded from close friend and client to some random chick. My apologies. Poor Jolene. Right. Doing me a favor to come on and help create something cool for Clean Nation. I abuse her. And then the second thing is there was content, right? So that's Jolene and Clean Nation. I want you to get that, right? If there was, and the content was me, there was zero good or bad, right? I'm sure Jolene was very generous in saying, oh, he clicked, and this guy's so cool. I'm sure just as many people went, what an idiot. I would never, this guy's not for me. Fantastic. I don't want them to email me or call me or waste any of my time. So step one is kind of reach out in a way that's appealing. And apparently for Jolene and I, that was LinkedIn. But more importantly, have content that's very you, that's going to kind of draw a line. And the people that don't get you will run away and never darken your doorstep or bother you. But the people that do get you, I can't remember how I said we're working together, but I'm sure there was no sales process. I just know I don't sell people. So it's not like you called in, I'm like, all right, sister, now I'm going to try and talk you into a bunch of stuff. My hope is I tried to help you and it just worked out that it made sense. Yeah. So tell me about that transition. So you were on LinkedIn, found some content, showed it to your, and there's one other thing I want to mention. You said, I probably checked you out online. That's so key in that, that's what people do to you, right? Before they call, they have trusted me. They've Googled you. And if you've got a Twitter account or a Facebook page or obviously your web page, but it used to just be the web page. Now it's like, what kind of reviews do you have? Are they on Twitter? Are they in LinkedIn? They're like kind of stalking you before they call. And you can have them call like Jolene called, which was, oh, this guy's so cool. I like him. He seems awesome. I hope he can help me. That's how you want people to call you, not, well, there's a bunch of bad reviews and I'm going to check out that, or not, if it's too bad, they won't even call. So, so we got working together. And what was that transition like? I'm sure it was scary, right? Anytime you're going to do something different, that's scary, or maybe not. I don't want to put words in your mouth. How did that feel?
When I reached out to you and call, I think it was right when you were starting in the accelerator group. I was one of the first ones, and it was scary because at the time, I had never paid for any type of coaching really. But I knew it was either that, and I remember telling you this, it was either I get somebody to help me or I close down business. That's the point where I was at. So what? I'm sorry.
I was just saying, that was, I'm sure at least a year ago. I absolutely remember that conversation crystal clear. That was, keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I think I was so at my wit's end that when I found you and we had our conversation and I decided to do it, it was like, okay, this guy can help me. And it was a relief, honestly, more so than being scared.
I like that. And honest, those are my least favorite customers because I get that. That's not uncommon. Although I'm writing all this stuff down because Jolene is, whether she knows it or not, a headline writing machine currently. But I wrote that literally. It was either get some help or coaching or shut down the business. You totally said that, and I never wrote it. I probably wrote it down and forgot about it. And then I was so at my wit's end when I found you. Hopefully you guys hear this is a woman in pain, or that was in pain. Obviously, we were able to help her. But these are how you want your customers to come to you. Not that you want them to be in pain, but if they don't acknowledge their pain, you can't help them. When she and I first spoke, if she's like, I'm fine, if she kind of big time me and I don't want to say lied, but just wasn't transparent, it's like, I'm fine. Yeah, it could be a little better, but I'm fine. I can't help that. There's nothing I can do with that. And you can't help your customers if they're like, this cleaning thing, it's no big deal. Whatever's cheap, it's fine. I don't care. If it's not you, I'll just get some illegal labor off, from Home Depot. That's not your customer. Your customer is saying things like, it was either get some help or do this other terrible thing. I was at my wit's end. These are the ones that you want to create marketing that brings these people to you. So again, keep it with a good headline. So now that we kind of know what that looked like, and so what made you? Because it is scary, and you said that you were scared. What made you finally go? I'm going to do something different. Was there something specific, or were you just a culmination of things?
I think I was just so exhausted from trying to do so much. Again, it was just I knew that I had capped out on what I could learn through doing and also researching, because I'm notorious for being like, oh, let me see what I can read, being a reader, a researcher, and not a doer. You know that. And I also, I know myself well enough to know I needed somebody to hold me accountable and to teach me more. And again, it was do that or stop. So
Well, I love your business. So I am so glad. And not only do I love your business, but the employees that you have and the customers you have, I know are better off for the time that you spend. So I just want to encourage you that it wasn't just good for you, hopefully, that you kept going, but you're changing other people's lives. And that's very cool that you kind of said, I'm going to do the hard thing. Cause I think the easy thing probably would have been at that time just to quit and I don't know, get another job or I don't know, just do something. You had 27 easier options than what you did, and I'm proud of you for picking the hard one, not just for your own benefit, but for the benefit of your family, your employees, your customers, your vendors. I mean, as small business owners, we really do kind of run the whole world in terms of being the engine to make stuff happen. So tell me what, and again, this is not a commercial, so give me good and bad, right? This Jolene and I didn't talk about before, like don't say this or do say this, but I just want to tell you on the record. Give it the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Your good experience, your bad experience. I just want to hear the story and the transition and kind of what that looked like from when you took the plunge, so to speak, to now.
I mean, during my time with you in the accelerator?
Yeah, we don't have to specify. Just really I'm really looking for the transition. Not so much me. This is about you. So just the transition you had of what your life was like before and what it's like now.
Man, geez, it's night and day. When I started out in the accelerator group, and then went to one-on-one. But it was, I don't want to sound cheesy, but seriously, it was almost like a light bulb in automatic. I mean, it's been a long process, don't get me wrong, but the things that you started telling me right away or teaching me in accelerator, now I'm like, how did I not know some of this stuff? But, but I didn't. And once I started implementing them and really working on my systems, and if I remember right, that was, kind of where we started is making good systems. And it's always a process, things I'm still working on. But it was really night and day. I mean, I felt for the first time that I was more in control of my business and that there was light at the end of the tunnel. So yeah, I went from, this total overwhelm and to just feeling like I can do it, feeling way more confident. I mean, and I've had my peaks and valleys, obviously, as you know. Recently, I feel like it's like I turned another corner of really taking more control and following through on what I'm going to do. But yeah, I mean, there's no comparison. And it's funny, Mike, because even my husband, and I will be honest, I remember one of the first things you told me was you wanted him to be on board. Mm-hmm. And he was, but, he's never done any type of coaching. But, throughout the time, he's kind of been like, are you sure that you need this? But recently, I mean, he even came to me the other day and he was like, yeah, I was telling Horacio, one of the managers he works with, all about, your coaching and just how awesome it is and how much you're growing. I mean, so to see him, who is pretty big skeptic, watch me and, totally be supporting it. I mean, that says a ton to me. So yeah, I mean, it's been amazing, truly.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I didn't know that about your husband. I do remember, because I always say, like, hey, if your husband or if your spouse isn't on board with this, this isn't for you. Like, it's a team effort, no matter what. Everything. If your spouse is anti the company, I'd be like, well, then you guys got to sort that out before it even makes sense. But so I'll take that as a huge compliment. Tell me about the hardest. And I don't know. The fun thing about these calls is it gives me the opportunity to ask questions I don't know the answer to, that we never have the opportunity to just like sit and discuss. So it'll be interesting to hear. Tell me the hardest thing that if you're willing to share, this is kind of a personal question. Because a lot of what I tell people at the beginning is, you got it. Everyone I know is willing to work harder, right? They're like, well, if I work 40 hours, a week now and I'm making this much, if I work 60, and they just end up working, it takes over their lives. Right. And that's never, ever, ever what I coach. And I always tell them, you're going to have to work. You're going to have to step way out of your comfort zone, do things that are scary and uncomfortable. And the first thing is taking the plunge to do something different. Like, I'm going to trust this person with my money and my coaching. What if he tells me to do something wrong? What if he has no idea what he's talking? It's a lot of scary stuff. So after that first hurdle, whether it was right off the bat or sometime in the middle or recently, what was the scariest thing I asked you to do? And just, if you would tell me or scariest thing that you did or didn't do and how that felt and how it worked out, good or bad. And I know that's a tough one, so thank you for being up for answering.
Yeah, I mean, scariest thing, man. This sounds kind of silly, but I'm a really outgoing person, I think. But
I can
I
attest.
have
Yes, ma'am.
found it's been easier. But that being said, for me, it's I think as an entrepreneur, it's easy to kind of hide behind your computer and to get stuck in that mentality and not put yourself out there. And as you know, when I tried to do the lunch and learns and I was like, I think, I made excuses and I didn't follow through like I should have. But then um, the more I've grown and you've pushed me and I've really trusted your advice and, joining the BNI, that, I mean, that was scary to me. Just, you have to do your little commercial and I have to stand up there and talk actually putting myself out there, going and meeting more people, which I find when I do, I love it. So I don't like hiding behind my computer anymore. Meeting, like doing different strategic alliances with people and, you know, telling other people about my business. I think for so long I hid behind it and I wasn't proud of it. So actually being like, no, I can do this. I mean, that was scary, which sounds crazy, but yeah, that was, I mean, putting myself out there in the world and in front of people and all that was probably for me the scariest.
And let me encourage you, Jolene, and just for everyone listening, I promise you, people that are listening are like, oh no, she's so outgoing and she's so comfortable with Mike and she doesn't understand me. I'm really scared. I got to tell the world, and hopefully Jolene will be okay with it. You are a definite, once you get to like one-on-one and once you're comfortable with someone, you're the most open, sweet, like, let's talk. I mean, you're very sociable. But I can absolutely, I just want Clean Nation to know, like, oh, well, but no. I get that you were that's a big thing to say, go up in front of 20 or 30 or 50 or however many people are in your BNI group and talk for a little while and go intentionally be friendly and even more, talk about your business, right? I think Jolene's nature is, how are you doing? How can I help you? What's going on with your world? But to put the spotlight on herself, very outside of your comfort zone.
Totally outside my comfort zone. Yeah. I mean, and yeah, you hit it right on the head. It was like, I can go and ask people a million questions about them, but to brag, and that sounds bad, but to brag on my company or, but really, I mean, to talk about it, yeah, it was super hard for me. So yeah.
Well, and let's use that as a jumping off point, because one of the big things that you did that I had the honor of kind of being able to walk you through is a name change, and really turned out not just to be a name change, but a real philosophy change. And the only reason I bring that up is I know that there are people out there that, and just so you guys know, everyone listening, and I want Jolene, I want to kind of brag on you and behind your back, in front of your face, that now in the accelerator community, people come to Jolene. Like, I have other clients that will ask about branding or kind of who they are, what kind of community they're building. I'm like, oh, you got to call Jolene. She's putting together something spectacular. So I would love, so all that to say, I'm going to kind of point out the story because I think it'll bring a lot of value to the people listening. And if you're okay, I'll share your information of how they get a hold of you, because you're going to get emails going, how did you do that? And tell me more. And this sounds fantastic. So tell us about kind of the before and after of, I don't want to say your website because that's too small. Really, it was your identity, not as a person, but your business's identity. You talk, I'll listen.
Okay, so my name before was Clean for You, and Clean, the number 4, YOU.
And how did I feel about? I was really encouraging about that, right?
No, you hated it. Which honestly, I mean, I never loved it, but it was one of those things that, like, when I started cleaning, it was me, and then when I wanted to make me an LLC before, my husband and I actually put together, it was like, oh, okay, let's just do this. So we weren't necessarily doing it to, become this big company, and I never loved the name. It just never felt right to me, and it didn't. When I knew I wanted to focus more on residential, I don't think I ever actually thought about changing my name until I talked to you, and you were like, "Clean for You, I hate it," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And we
don't tell her my secrets that I'm really a jerk to I'm only nice to people that aren't paying me. When you start paying me, I'm the worst.
No. You're a lot nicer about it than that. But I think because I didn't love it either, I was like, yeah. But the thought of actually changing it didn't really occur to me. And then the more I was in Accelerator, we started talking about it. And we went, and there was a long time there where we we threw around a ton of different names and nothing felt right. And so we kept Clean for You. And then, man, I don't know, when was that? Maybe November or December? November, I think.
And this is we're having this
16.
conversation end of May 2017. So
Yeah.
November 6
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah. So you were talking and you said Moms Against Cleaning. And then we both were like, hey, that could be a really good name. And we just knew. So then, I mean, when we decided, okay, let's do Moms Against Cleaning, and that was super exciting. But I can't believe anything about that, but it was scary. It was scary to be like, will people love it? Will they hate it? Are people going to get it? Are they going to get this whole, we're Moms Against Cleaning, and it's a movement. But we just ran with it, and it's been awesome. I mean, really. I mean, obviously, I was behind it 100%, but when people hear the name, I mean, I've had so many people tell me how much they love it. They're like, that is such an awesome name. So that was definitely a scary time, but it's been it's so much more me. And then everything changed. I mean, I still have Clean for You on my commercial side, but Moms Against Cleaning, we changed my website. We changed the whole feel of every part of my company.
Well, let me
with
just
a simple name change.
For the benefits of the listeners, and also for you, Jolene, I remember that differently. So I'm not saying my version is correct.
You do?
Yeah. I'm just going to give my perspective. You could agree or disagree. It's okay either way.
Okay.
But I remember you give me way too much credit. Like, we were just talking and I came down from the mountain with Moms Against Cleaning etched in a stone tablet, and you were like, this is it. Like, that was not how I remember it all. It was a lot of conversation about who are you and what's important to you and what do you stand for? What do you want to accomplish? You don't want to just clean toilets and make money. You really want to do something. And you were saying a lot of things like, I want to help moms and I want to give them more time. So you really came up with it. And I don't even remember that I kind of said the name first. That may be the case, but it was very collaborative. I think you were circling it, and if anything, I just helped you put a pin in the middle. But it wasn't like we were just talking about the weather, and I'm like, Jolene, I have your answer. Like, it was very collaborative, and you really, honestly, you came up with it. I may have at most helped you wordsmith it. So I don't want people to think like, oh, Mike just gave this to Jolene and she just took it and ran. It quite the opposite. I helped her clarify and codify what she was already thinking and feeling in a way that you got. So I don't want to take more credit than is due. So the cool thing is, it wasn't just the name. I think the name was really indicative of what you were trying to communicate before. Like, I remember I had you as a client forever, and of course I remembered your name, but I was like, what? I forget her. Wichita Summer? I don't know. I never knew your and I knew that's a bad sign when we're pretty intimately conversating and I know you. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, all my customers, certainly the one-on-ones, I absolutely, of course, know their name, their company names. You were the one it took me months to remember. So I knew that was a bad sign. When if I can't remember it, a passerby is never going to. But the key was, it wasn't a name change, right? I don't want anyone to think like, if you just change your name from a crappy name to a good name, everything's going to be different. That was a lightning rod to go, we were calling ourselves something we weren't, and now we're calling ourselves something we are. Tell us how that made you just kind of feel. Obviously, customers responded, right? I feel like when you say Clean for You, everyone else had my response of what, who, what, do I got to spell out FOR or FOUR? Like, I don't, what, huh? How do I even get to your place? Whereas now, Moms Against Clean, that's pretty. So that part, I think everyone gets. Like, it's just memorable. People can find it. It's spellable. It's just a much better web address. But more importantly, for you, how did that? I don't want to make assumptions. Did that change your ability and willingness, and like how you kind of looked at your own business?
Totally did. I mean, and you're so right. The name change was like just like the icing on the cake, I guess, because we did talk forever, a long time about and getting me very clear on what I wanted and how I felt, and wanting to help moms. I mean, that was my main focus. So changing the name, it just aligned with everything, and it felt so right. So it gave me the confidence to be like, we're Moms Against Cleaning. This is what we do. We help moms have more time in their lives. We help moms get to play with their kids, and I mean, everything just started falling into place. So it's not just about the name change, but it definitely propelled me to be more confident, if that makes sense.
Absolutely does.
Who we were. Yeah.
If not, I think it really gave you clarity, and the clarity gave you confidence.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, I'd be embarrassed to tell people my name, my company name was Clean for You. I'd be embarrassed too.
I hated it. Yeah, I know.
And just so you guys know, it sounds, we're talking for 20 minutes here, and it sounds very cut and dry and beautiful and clean. Literally, poor Jolene, and I was trying to be patient with you. It took her months to just. There was a lot of and the only reason I bring this up is I know a large portion of the people listening are like this. She was, I don't want to say perfectionistic, right? It had to be perfect. So there was a lot of, I don't know, and insecurity and go back and forth and really, so it was kind of a victory when we got it. And you were like, that's it. That's just it. And, I think you mentioned join the movement, and I got to brag about a Facebook, or if you're okay with me sharing this, this door hanger that you just did is so good. So it's a door hanger, and it's two-sided. On the front, I forget what it is. It's a very compelling offer. It's good copy. I'm sure it's going to convert well. But on the back, it says, well, I'll let you, I don't want to give it away. You share with, because, and this is a great idea. So if you're not in Wichita, Kansas, for crying out loud, steal this.
Yeah, for real. I mean, anybody can steal it.
And if you are in Wichita, Kansas, just give Jolene a nickel for every time you print one. That's all.
We have our offer on the front, and then it says turnover for I think a free gift or a surprise. And on the back, it says do not disturb. Mom needs a nap. Go ask dad. So it's something that they can hang on their door. Moms can hang on their door of their bedroom, or at the front door. Hey, if they want to, kick everybody out. But but it was just something we wanted, just something fun that we could actually, maybe that they would actually use, and to also grab attention, and obviously geared towards mom. So that's new, and we're testing it, but I am so excited for it because I think it's going to be great.
Well, and it's one of those things that has leave behind value, right? Every other door hanger is going to get thrown. 98% are going to get thrown away within the first 10 seconds. This one, maybe it's not like 100%, but maybe 80% get thrown away. And even then, of those 80%, you get a lot of, oh, that's really cute. And the name sticks, and there's something. And of the 20% that don't get thrown away, oh my gosh, if you could, we were talking about this before you hit record, you could ask customers, hey, give me a referral. Like, could you please? And, maybe if it comes up, maybe, right? It's just a weird thing. But I promise you, they're going to go, when their girlfriends come over, they'll be like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. You've got to, it works, Jolene, when people that aren't customers are calling you, not to clean, but they just want your door hanger. If this is as good as I think it is, because like you said, we're just testing. I think that'll be the thing that's happening. And I just love that you're giving, instead of asking for a referral, you're giving really good stories for your customers to tell about you.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I did want to say, one of the things that, I don't know if early Jolene or not, but certainly some accelerators are definitely Cleaning Nation would be like, oh my gosh, why is Jolene sharing all this? Why can't, I'm just going to steal her name, or isn't she worried someone's going to steal this idea? The cool thing is, good luck, try it. The reason that Moms Against Cleaning works for Jolene is it's totally Jolene, right? If I went right next door in Wichita and tried to open a cleaning company called Moms Against Cleaning, I would fail because it's not who I am. So it's so her and so clear. You try and knock it off. It's just obviously instantly a knockoff. So I just love that you get like, this is you, try and steal it. It's not your vibe, right? I would, Jolene would probably not do a good Grow My Cleaning Company. She'd be something fun and cute. I would do a terrible Moms Against Cleaning. So I just love that you get that it's, and for everyone out there going, I'm just going to steal that wholesale. Well, I mean, I guess good, not on the door hanger. That's just a good idea, but it fits with your culture, right? It wouldn't work for everybody. It wouldn't work for a commercial company. Wouldn't work for, you've got a niche, and anyone, if you didn't have the niche concept, people would be concerned about, well, I can't say Moms Against Cleaning. What about old people, or if their kids are at a house? Yeah, that's fine. Jolene's cool with that because you know who your customer is and you can speak right to them. And it's okay if you're not customer, kind of wanders away.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, we have been yakking forever. So we kind of talked about what your life was like before, how you made that transition, what your life's like after. I want to make sure that you just have a full, uninterrupted, you can say anything you want, good or bad, about me, about the cleaning business, about your business, about life, about politics. I'm going to shut up, and you can literally say anything you want that you feel would be of value to Clean Nation.
I really just want everybody to know and to maybe look at hopefully I've done a good job explaining how, I want to say desperate I was, but I really was. I mean, I was at the end. And today, it sounds silly or cliche or whatever, but just keep on pushing. And that's not even the right word. It's not keep on pushing, but it's find people, listen to people smarter than you, get people around you that are smarter than you and that can really teach you. And actually listen. And I will say this, and I know Mike is going to agree that I'm sure there's times where he's like, good Lord, lady, just do what I'm telling you to do. And I know myself, I am such a questioner and a researcher, and I want to, I want to know why and how is everything going to work out. And that was probably has been my biggest change in the last little bit is to listen to Mike and to do exactly what he says and not necessarily, I mean, he always lets me question or ask questions, but to do it, and to follow through and to put yourself out there because it's, I know how scary it is. But when you start doing that, you feel so much better about yourself. Don't hide behind your computer. I've been there, I've done it. It doesn't work. But yeah, I mean, just, get the help that, if you're wondering, if Mike could help you or, he can, and, just keep going. And anybody can reach out to me too. I mean, I love, I know there's other people, like Craig, I mean, there's so many times I ask him questions and, I am, Susie, love her. We talk. And so, I mean, anybody feel free to ask me any questions. I'm pretty transparent and open, like you said. So,
that makes,
again,
go ahead.
I'm done.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I feel bad. I talked right over you. I just want to encourage you, Jolene, that is what I love is it kind of gets to be parents and grandparents and great grandparents in this, kind of in this community. And Craig was one of the very first people I started helping. And I love that kid. If you ever get a chance to talk to him, and I did another video like this, and if I can, I'll link to it. But he was kind of the grandfather of the accelerators and the one-on-ones because he was, and when I first met him, he had a cool personality, but he would only show it to me and I'm sure friends and family, but it was not in his business. He was very uptight and not uptight, but it wasn't him. And he just kind of unlocked that and started being the same Craig that we all knew and loved in his business. And it is very compelling to customers, to everybody, including Jolene, will go to Craig and say, how do you do that? And and there'd be encouragement because they know Craig and go, well, Craig's great, but he's not this towering genius that I could never do. If Craig could do it, I could do it. And Jolene grew through that process. And now Jolene's the new Craig, right? There's a whole nother batch of people that I'm helping and I would talk with. And because I can only do so much because I haven't had an actual cleaning business for years. So I'm kind of this different guy. I'm like, well, Mike sounds good, but that's him, right? He could do it, but can I do it? So that's why I sent him to Jolene. And now Jolene's kind of getting the people coming to her going, how'd you do that? How did it feel? And is it really scary? What happened? So I just love that you started off kind of getting the benefit of that, mentorship within the group. And now that hopefully you're still getting benefit, but you're getting benefit from being that mentor and just so you all know, and Jolene, I think knows, I've been actually encouraging Jolene to start mentoring her customers. Because she's got people that she's doing strategic alliances with that are running businesses. And I keep telling you, Jolene, you've got more marketing sense than 98% of the people out there now. You could start giving, it doesn't just have to be within Cleaning Nation. You can help your customers and other people in the world. And it's an honor for me to get to see that transformation in you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm going to just let you have the last word. You did a great job and I jumped in. So I'm going to let you have the last word. You're going to sign off. You're going to say goodbye. However you want to do it, you're going to say, and when you stop talking, I'm going to end this conversation. I'm going to end the, so you go and I can't wait to hear how you do this. Go.
First I want to tell you, obviously, Mike, thank you so much for helping me so much. But, I guess I'll just end with, guys, keep striving. If you want to reach out to me, please do, or Susie, or, even,
where can they reach you?
Facebook. I mean, you can message me anytime through Facebook. I'm in the group, obviously in the accelerator group. So yeah, I mean, I'm still learning. Okay. So I think I will forever be learning. All of us will be. But I will help in any way I can. So, if people want to know how to do the flyer or want, the door hanger, hey, I'll let you have it. I mean, that's the cool thing about the group too, is that we're not scared about, hey, somebody's going to steal this. You know what? That's the whole point. We're all there to help each other. So that's my goal is to help people underneath me. And I get help. I mean, I love reading everybody's posts and seeing, I still get ideas. So yeah, thank you, Mike, for having me on.